Hello everyone. Tonight, I have a truly terrifying story to share with you. This happened to a woman named Jane about 12 years ago. Jane was originally from Manchester, but after getting accepted into a university in London, she had to move in with her older sister who worked there. After graduating, Jane was in the process of looking for a job. During that time, she was in a relationship with a man named Tom. They met at a friend's birthday party and quickly became very close. Even though Jane was older than Tom, her parents were quite protective. So she introduced Tom to them early on, allowing their relationship to be open and accepted. Tom was studying at a well-known university in London. But instead of renting an expensive apartment, he chose to stay in a modest dormitory to save money. The rent for nearby condominium was nearly £1,000 per month, so the dorm was the more practical choice. The place wasn't too far from his university, just a couple of bus stops away. Since Jane had more free time, she often visited Tom and stayed with him for a few days at a time. She would cook, do laundry, and take care of things around the room. Their relationship was warm, loving, and without secrets. The dorm room itself was simple. Not too small, not too big, but it had a balcony. And that balcony became Jane's favorite place. At first, Jane stayed with Tom mainly because Tom was actually very afraid of ghosts. Almost 2 months later, Jane had to return to Manchester to take care of her sick father, so both Jane and Tom went back together for about 2 weeks. During that time, Tom noticed something strange. Jane seemed unusually happy, but he assumed it was because she was visiting her family again. After 2 weeks, they returned to the dorm. That night, something happened. Jane suddenly woke up. She felt something like fingernails gripping tightly onto her thigh. At first, she thought it was Tom, so she ignored it. The next day, Tom stayed late at university for an important event. He returned to the dorm around 10 p.m. As he approached the elevator, he saw Jane sitting in the lobby. But something was wrong. She was trembling, visibly terrified. Tom rushed over and asked what happened. At first, Jane couldn't even speak properly. But after calming down, she told him everything. Earlier that evening, around 5 p.m., Jane had fallen asleep. And then she felt it again, a hand, slowly touching her body from her hips down to her thigh. But this time, it was different. The hand didn't feel like Tom's. It felt like a woman's hand with long, sharp nails scratching deeply into her skin. Jane got angry. She thought Tom had come back and was messing with her. But just as she was about to turn and confront him, she saw something. A shadow, a woman with long hair, only her head and one arm, slowly retreating, and then disappearing under the bed. Jane screamed. She jumped off the bed, ran out of the room, and rushed downstairs. She had been sitting there, waiting ever since. That night, Tom immediately took Jane to stay at her friend's condo. On the way there, Jane revealed something even more disturbing. Before going back to Manchester, she had been having nightmares. She kept seeing a woman, smiling at her, but it wasn't a normal smile. Her teeth were sharp, her nails long and black. Some nights, that same hand would touch her, and Jane had always thought it was Tom. The next day, Tom decided to move out immediately. Before leaving, he stopped to talk to a homeless man nearby, known as Dan. Tom often greeted him in passing, Dan asked why he was moving out, so Tom told him everything. Dan's expression changed instantly. He cursed and said, "That building, especially the 8th floor, almost no one stays there anymore." Years ago, a couple lived there. The woman found out the man was cheating. They argued violently, and in a moment of rage, the man killed her. Since then, many people who stayed there, especially women, experienced terrifying encounters. Some say her spirit is still there, full of anger, full of hatred, and she doesn't like any woman who enters that room. And that was the story of Jane and Tom. What do you think? Would you dare to stay in that room? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to The Dark Origins for more terrifying stories. Thanks you.